Okay, so we just answered our last question about Dolphus Raymond, what we know about him, how he's described, and how he's different from the town. And now we are skipping a little ahead. Go to the bottom of page 185. Hopefully you can see this, but if not, it's a little section with the dialogue. What you need to know is that now they are inside of the courthouse. Okay, and Scout hears people, some old men, talking about Atticus, her father. While she's describing that, you can also be paying attention to how the courthouse is arranged, because that's one of the questions on your handout. So at the bottom of 185, Scout is overhearing a conversation. This is what it says. The conversation was about my father. This is the old man talking. He thinks he knows what he's doing, one said. Oh, now, I wouldn't say that, said another. Atticus Finch is a deep reader, a mighty deep reader. He reads all right, that's all he does. The crowd snickered. Let me tell you something now, Billy, a third said. You know the court appointed him to defend this Negro. Yes, but Atticus aims to defend him. That's what I don't like. This was news that put a different light on things. Atticus had to, whether he wanted to or not. I thought it odd that he hadn't said anything to us about it. We could have used it many times in defending him and ourselves. He had to, that's why he was doing it. Equaled fewer fights and less fussing. But did that explain the town's attitude? The court appointed Atticus to defend him. Atticus aimed to defend him. That's what they didn't like about it. It was confusing. Now remember, we're thinking about the town's attitude toward the trial. So anytime that we hear about the town's point of view, we might come back to this part for our exit ticket. The Negroes, having waited for the white people to go upstairs, began to come in. Pay attention to how this courthouse is organized. Whoa now, just a minute, said a club member, holding up his walking stick. Just don't start up them stairs yet a while. The club began its stiff-jointed climb and ran into Dill and Jem on their way down, looking for me. They squeezed past, and Jem called, Scout, come on. There ain't a seat left. We have to stand up. Look at there now, he said irritably as the black people surged upstairs. The old men ahead of them would take most of the standing room. We were out of luck, and it was my fault, Jem informed me. We stood miserably by the wall. Can't you all get in? Reverend Sykes was looking down at us, black hat in hand. Hey, Reverend, said Jem. Nah, Scout here messed us up. Now let's see what we can do. Reverend Sykes edged his way upstairs. In a few moments, he was back. There's not a seat downstairs. Do you all reckon it would be all right if you all came to the balcony with me? Gosh, yes, said Jem happily. We sped ahead of Reverend Sykes to the courtroom floor. There, we went up a covered staircase and waited at the door. Reverend Sykes came puffing behind us and steered us gently through the black people in the balcony. 4 Negroes rose and gave up their front row seats. So let's pause here, and on your handout, you can describe where are the black people in the courthouse, where are the white people in the courthouse, who entered first, who entered after. The colored balcony ran along 3 walls of the courtroom like a second-story veranda, and from it we could see everything. The jury sat to the left, under long windows. Sunburned, lanky, they seemed to be all farmers, but this was natural. Townfolk rarely sat on juries. They were either struck or excused. 1 or 2 of the jury looked vaguely like dressed-up Cunninghams. At this stage, they sat straight and alert. The circuit solicitor and another man, Atticus and Tom Robinson, sat at tables with their backs to us. There was a brown book and some yellow tablets on the solicitor's table. Atticus's was bare. Just inside the railing that divided the spectators from the court, the witnesses sat on cowhide bottom chairs. Their backs were to us. Okay, so by now you've answered the question about how the courthouse is arranged, and now you're making an inference about Judge Taylor.